The fire god met a small sprout in the desert. Moved by its resilient strength, he gave it a burst of energy. The sprout immediately grew a little taller. Just then, a few drops of water fell from the sky. It turned out his old rival, the water god, had arrived too. She gathered the drops and gave them to the sprout. The sprout absorbed all the water. The fire god got angry. He stood up and chanted a spell. A beam of light shot toward the sprout, making it grow taller again. Then the water god clapped her hands and summoned a light rain to nourish the sprout. The fire god responded with even stronger sunlight. But the fire god's joy didn't last long, because the water god summoned heavier rain. That put out his flames completely. Enraged, the fire god created a blazing sun, while the water god summoned massive waves. The fire god shouted to the sky and unleashed his full power. The water god wasn't about to back down either. Light, wind, and rain collided, triggering a massive explosion. The sprout below, which had just bloomed, quickly withered. They hadn't expected their fight would deal the sprout a fatal blow. The water god sadly shed a tear that landed right on the withered plant. The sprout showed signs of life again. Seeing this, the fire god decided to try one last time, shining sunlight on its roots. The stem began to move. Finally, the two gods let go of their hatred for each other and decided to work together to bring the sprout back to life. For a long time, the sprout still looked lifeless, but then the flower seemed to hear their regret. In an instant, it stood tall once more. Even the desert miraculously came back to life. They finally understood. Love is living in peace.